Welcome to IFA. I fix everything.
Today's project is part 2 of the Fiero seized brake caliper. Part 1 focused on the diagnosis, the removal, teardown, and chemical cleaning of all 4 brake calipers. Part 2 will focus on the mechanical cleaning of the brake components and finish with the polishing of the calipers. In preparation for the next stage of cleaning, the iron parts were laid out on a magnetic wrench holder. Notice, I removed the piston prior to placing the rail inside the cabinet. The magnetic rail kept the parts organized during the sandblasting process. While I was in the process of cleaning iron parts, I decided to sandblast the rear brake rotors. The holes in the brake rotors make a great support for cleaning the heads of the hardware. The front brake rotors are a hub assembly with wheel bearings and races. Sandblasting is not a good option. A cordless drill and a wire brush make short work of the surface rust on the brake rotors. By turning the brush sideways, I was even able to clean the back side of the brake rotor in the cutout area where the calipers are mounted. I got a little carried away and even cleaned the dust cap. I decided to touch up the sandblasted parts with the wire wheel. I got quite a surprise when the parts went from a matte gray to a chrome polish in mere seconds. I chucked the banjo bolts and other hardware into the drill and used a counter-rotating force to really give them a shine. I reversed the bolts and polished the threads. Mother Nature would deconstruct my highly polished iron parts in a hurry, so I painted them with high-temperature engine enamel. I substituted Vaseline for masking tape on my rear rotors. When the paint dried, I removed the Vaseline with mineral spirits. I finished by burnishing the machine surface with a wire brush. The brake piston check valve must be removed prior to abrasive cleaning. I'm using a Dremel tool with a stainless steel brush to remove the rust from the faceted face of the brake caliper piston. I've now turned my attention to the piston skirt to remove the surface rust that was causing the brake seizure. The brush is able to remove the rust without damaging the surface finish. I mounted the emergency brake actuator screw in the Jacob's chuck of my shopsmith. I threaded the piston onto the actuator screw and began to polish the surface. Fine steel wool was the first stage of the surface polish. Rotation of the drill press is seating the actuator screw into the piston. The aluminum brake housings were cleaned with muriatic acid, which left them with a dull patina. So I decided to experiment with the wire wheel and polish the aluminum calipers as well. The wire wheel was unable to clean up the small details, so I used a series of wire brushes mounted to a drill. A plumber's brush was used to clean the mounting bolt bores. I even cleaned and polished the brake piston bore. The Dremel tool and a wire brush was used for the final details. I applied jeweler's rouge to a cotton wheel and polished the calipers to a mirror finish. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, stay tuned for part 3, the reassembly and installation of the brake calipers. Remember, subscribers are always welcome.